I've had people ask me in the past about how I go through all these different swing changes and how do I keep them straight and what happens when you're going from one swing method to the next and you're just constantly mixing everything up. Today, I'm going to answer that question for you and I'm going to tell you the best way that I have found to implement swing changes. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to Golf Test Dummy, the channel where I use my game to try and help your game the best way I can, hopefully. In today's episode, I really hope to deliver on that promise, that mission statement that I'm always saying in the beginning of these videos, and it's coming from me, not one of the teachers that I've watched. Over the course of the last 2 years, if you've been following along with the channel, you know that I've gone through a lot of different swing changes. And now, here lately, I vowed a couple of months ago to stop trying to change my swing so dramatically and to stick with basically one way. And I'm trying to form the simplest, easiest, most repeatable swing that I can possibly make. It may not be the swing that works perfectly for you, but for me, I'm trying to break it down and make it as simple as I can for myself. Now, a question that I've gotten in the past several times over from different viewers is how do you make these swing changes? What's the best way to go about implementing them and not completely go off the planet? You've got to start slow and small. I won't name any names, but there's a YouTuber who is much bigger than me. He's a golf YouTuber. He's been around for several years, but I find myself watching his videos from time to time. I've watched him for a few years now, and one constant thing continues to just bug me for him. Now, he's probably a better golfer than I am. You have to keep this one thing in mind. You have to start out slow and small. No matter what it is he's trying to do, no matter what he's working on, he cannot help himself from just absolutely trying to just murder the ball. He thinks that he's slowing it way down, but you can see it in his swing. He is just trying to knock the snot out of the golf ball. Now, anytime I'm trying to make a change, in order to kind of get a sense of what solid is from that new position, from that change, and then even when you get to the full swing, you're not trying to just kill the golf ball. You're still trying to swing within yourself and not go so hard at it. And there's a reason. There's a reason why we go at the golf ball so hard in a lot of circumstances. I don't know that this is universally applicable, but a lot of us, you may have felt this, or maybe you're not even aware of it, but just sort of do a dive into yourself. And basically, when we have swing faults, which I have them, so many people have them, hell, even pros have them. When you have flaws in your swing and you're trying to make a change, a lot of times the club or the grip, when it reaches a certain position, it feels awkward. That awkwardness makes you uncomfortable, and that uncomfortable feeling leads you to swing harder and faster at it, because if you swing harder and faster at it, it kind of masks a lot of those uncomfortable feelings and a lot of those flaws. You're not able to sense them like you could at a much slower speed. A lot of times it feels uncomfortable, or it feels like you can't rely on it. You're not going to make solid contact in it. You lack confidence in the position that you're feeling or the feeling in your body that you get. And so you add speed in order to mask it. Well, if you mask it, it's a lot like if you have some sort of a tragedy or a traumatic event in your life. If you don't address it and you don't confront it head on and you don't allow yourself to feel those feelings, you can't affect real change psychologically and emotionally. You're just basically covering it up. You just go to work. You work all day long and you keep yourself busy, or you dive into your hobbies, or you take care of somebody else. If you dive into those things, you're really just kind of putting off all of that awkward and uncomfortable feeling. And you're never really engaging with it and seeing it for what it really is and taking it head on and getting to know it. And it's a lot like that in golf. If you put on that speed and you just swing harder, you don't feel all that awkward, weird feeling of this new position or this new grip, or your body's here, or you feel like you're lagging back. So if you go harder at it, it kind of covers that up and you don't have to confront it. All right, so how do you apply that? If you try it at a full swing but half speed, you'll be able to feel exactly what's happening, and it's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel awkward. It's gonna feel uncomfortable and foreign. You need to engage that. You need to embrace the different, embrace the awkward, embrace the discomfort, and get friendly with it. Get friendly with it. Let yourself feel like when I was starting out with the Jim Bonetto swing, let's say, and you pivot like this, my God, that is just so different from anything and everything else. And then the fact that I'm supposed to stay still when normally you're getting told to shift and rotate and then shift and rotate through. It's the complete opposite. And so when you do that, you feel uncomfortable. It feels foreign. If you really want to change, the fastest and most effective way to do that is to get comfortable with the weird. You'll try it for a couple of shots. And then after a couple of shots, you'll say, that's garbage, and you'll just throw it out. But if you start off smaller, like I've got a strong grip, so let's try a weaker grip, you know? Let me put this on here, weak. Now that feels totally disgusting to me. To some of you, maybe a weak grip is the way you want it, but that feels so awkward. And if I sit up, I feel like I can't get back to that ball. I feel like I'm gonna need to come like this in order to make contact. But let's just see, if I take it nice and make a smaller swing, what would happen? Okay, my hand felt different through the ball. It felt weird. It felt like I needed to change the way I swing in order to make that work. If you normally come over the top like that, try the feeling of just small swings and just slowly keeping that shoulder back behind it. Maybe even exaggerate it. Maybe even exaggerate it a little bit. That's another thing that can really help you, is to exaggerate it. Feel like this shoulder never comes and overtakes that one. Try that, but start off small and start off slow. See that? The shoulder never overtook. Now, to somebody who's a classic over-the-top slicer, that is going to feel like you're on another planet breathing water. But with any swing change, grip change, setup change, ball position change, anything, it's gonna feel weird in the beginning. You can't give up on it. It's gonna take some time, but the fastest way, the most effective way to create that change is to embrace the weird. Face the awkward head on and allow yourself to feel it. Don't just swing faster to cover it up and get it over with. Don't swing faster or harder so that you don't have to feel that awkward feeling and it just covers itself up. Make it slower. Make it even more awkward. Make it even more weird so your body can really feel the difference between past and present. After a while, when you've made the smaller swings and you've made the slower speed swings and you've really felt that weirdness and that awkwardness, after a while, it will start to feel less and less weird. It might take a bucket, it might take 10 buckets, it might take 1,000 golf balls. Who knows? It's going to be different for everybody, but once you've kind of gotten to where it doesn't feel so weird, then continue on. Then you can start to make larger swings. Then you can start to add maybe a little bit of speed, but don't put on so much speed that you wreck what you've been working on. Here's an example. I have this thing where I get really steep and I go after it with my right hand a lot, trying to hurry up and get back to the ball. And instead of that, what I'm trying to do is take it from here and just return it right back to the golf ball. Instead of trying to make a move to get back to the golf ball, I'm taking it away and I'm just returning it back where it came from with some velocity toward the target. Now what that means is my back shoulder is going to stay tucked behind my left shoulder for a longer period of time. That's pretty good for a lot of different swings. I know a lot of instruction now is teaching you to get open and get your hips open, and I've got nothing against that. It works for some people. If it works for you, great. But for me personally, I feel like if I can just return the club back down to where it came from and I can deliver it with that momentum toward the target, I get much better strikes. I get more consistent strikes, and I stop having that two-way miss that's a big block or a big snap hook. I end up getting a one-way miss. Maybe I overcook the draw a little bit. But anyway, in order to do that, I have to slow it down, and I work on going slow and small to start, right? So here we go. I'm going to go slow and small. and it feels crazy weird. It feels really weird to me right now. But the more I've been working on it, the more it's become normal to me, right? So I set up nice and slow and smooth until that weird feeling is no longer weird. And now, me and my shoulder being back, we're pretty good friends. We're hanging out. We're going for beers this Saturday. You should join us. The bottom line is you probably know somebody, or maybe you are that somebody, that when it comes to trying a new food or trying a new activity or wearing some new different clothes, trying to change the way you dress, any kind of changes you're trying to make. In the beginning, when you try that new shirt on, or you taste that new food, or you drink that new drink, or you go someplace that's new to you, you don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Yeah, you're like, take it off. No, I don't want that. I don't want any of that. Just give me the burrito. If you never try something new and try to embrace it and snuggle up with it and just feel the weird for a little while, it's amazing what your body can get used to. Then you can start to be more confident with it. You know what it's going to produce. You know what it's going to do for you. You know how it's going to feel. Then you can start to add fuller, faster swings, and you can figure out, your body will then figure out how to add the speed. But that amount of effort in the beginning to put that much into it and really go after it, all you're doing is masking the uncomfortable, awkward feeling that the club or your body is in at that point. It's so foreign to you, you're just covering it up, and you'll never actually absorb what it is that you're trying to learn. Guys, thanks so much for all of the comments and the thumbs up, all of the support you're giving me. It's totally helping this channel out. It helps me out. It keeps me going. I really appreciate you guys joining me on this and trying to improve with me. I'm right there with you. I'm fighting a good fight. We're all students of the game. Truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video.